And you've been tag teaming then for about 4 years?
Yeah, about 4 years.
What's the advantage? Because I mean, on a national scene, the Young Bucks are the team that comes to mind. Matt and Nick Jackson. Is there an advantage to you guys having there has to be, right? Having grown up together, you can communicate in ways that I would think other people really can't.
Yeah, it comes with a lot of reps for like me and Robbie. I'm sure Young Bucks for sure. You have so many reps with the same tag partner, your brother, that you guys know each other just by giving each other a certain look or something. You know what the other one's thinking. Really, uh, a lot of tag teams don't get a lot of reps together. Sometimes they're not fully committed to tagging, or they have different tag partners every now and then, and it
Hmm.
keeps switching. So when you tag with your brother, the advantage you have over all the other tag teams is you just have so much more reps.
Yeah, and then you can see it in watching some of your matches, just the double team moves, which I think were a key part of tag team wrestling, probably when you were watching and getting into it. The Rock and Roll Express, the Rockers, the Dudleys, even you get all the double up, the combination maneuvers, which you guys really excel at, and you don't see much. I think because of that random nature where people are getting together and they're tag teaming on a card, and then they may not team again for 3 or 4 months. It's hard to coordinate those moves.
Yeah, that's very true.
Which I
A
mean,
lot of our moves, me and Robbie hit countless times. So that's why we're able to be smooth with it. You know what I mean?
mhm. And that's where the Prince of Aviation and the Air Devil come from, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Two-time Big Valley champions, two-time Best of the West champions. Saw you competing for some championships in Arizona as well. How many
Yeah.
territories have you guys gone to now in the 4 years?
So far, we've done a lot of Northern and Southern California. Um, I didn't realize California was so big until we wrestled all over. Every time we go to California, we discover a new city and wrestle in a new city that I've never heard of.
Sure.
And lately this year we've been dipping our toes in Arizona. We never really wrestled there till this year, but the promotion that we wrestle for over there, PCW, has been a pretty hot promotion, and they have a really good draw, a good roster. So that's been a really good choice for us.
Yeah, and then I know you're looking to expand out to take to the air and fly a little bit further away. What are some goals for you and Robbie next year?
So me and Robbie felt like we've been kind of doing this loop for the last couple of years, this whole West Coast loop, and we've dipped a little bit in the East Coast. But what we really joined wrestling for too, other than going at the TV level, was because we want to travel and go around the world and perform. So we've been reached out to by some promoters in Japan and India and Mexico as well. So that's something we're
Okay.
looking into right now. Right now, me and Robbie are just getting our passports in order, and then as soon as that's ready to go, we can head out.
Yeah. What promotions have you followed in Japan? Do you watch a lot of Japanese wrestling?
I like watching the Noah and NJPW, and I watch a lot of Stardom and a lot of the Joshi wrestling. I'm a big fan
Hmm.
of that. A lot of my style is kind of modified from that style. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, it's kind of one of my favorite styles to watch.
Well, because there's a lot of animated and
Yeah,
fun
exactly.
moves. I mean, if anybody's watching this, if you haven't watched Maki Ito
Yeah,
wrestle, it's
exactly.
really entertaining matches.
Yeah, that's more
The
of what I like
cutest in the
more
world,
too.
right? Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. And then also some of that New Japan strong style where you're getting into the fighting, and that's an area where the amateur background can kind of pull in some.
Yes. One thing I've been working on blending was my amateur background with a lot of lucha libre and with a lot of the Japanese style that I've been studying a lot lately. Finding a blend between those two is something that I've been working on a lot lately, and lately I'm starting to get a good grasp on that. If you know what I mean.
Hmm. And have you been able to get some advice from some of the trainers and up in FSW, Kenny King, D'Lo? I'm sure they can lend a little bit of insight into some of those styles.
Yeah, they're amazing coaches, and whenever they're there, they usually give us great drills. And they ask us if we have any questions. We usually ask them to give us great advice, and it's always a pleasure to train with Kenny or D'Lo or Sin. A lot of really good coaches.
I mean, is it as simple as, I mean, just people watching? I mean, they're probably thinking, hey, is it as easy as watching some matches online, saying, yeah, I like that, and then going to the practice facility and just drilling it to see if you can do it and pull the move off?
Yeah, that's pretty much the recommended thing to do because I have had times where I see something and I'm like, "Oh, I can do that," and then I go and do it and I couldn't do it, and I land on my head or
Yeah.
twist something, and I'm like, "Wow, that looked easier than I thought it would be." So then you have to learn the mechanics of it, practice it a few times, especially if you want to do the same move in a live show in front of everybody. You know what I mean? You don't want to just go out there and
Hmm.
wing it.
Yeah. So the key is to be able to do it enough that it does look effortless
Yes,
and it looks
exactly.
smooth.
Yes.